Your mother has just contacted you and she said something absolutely crazy.
I'm going carnivore.
Help. I'm JJ. I'm a carnivore.
Yep.
I'm a life coach and I eat mostly meat.
I'm Eric. I'm a novelist and I'm also mostly a carnivore.
In this video, we are going to give you 7 tips if your family member has come to you and told you that they are going to do this crazy, crazy diet. So let's start with I think this might be one of the most important tips of all. Likely they are doing some sort of a challenge, 30-day, 60-day, 90-day. And the important thing to remember is
they cannot hurt themselves with 90 days of carnivore. They won't just suddenly develop heart disease that they didn't have going, and they won't develop any other disease from going carnivore for just 90 days. It's a really great trial period, and you could think of it as an elimination diet, a protocol.
Yes.
Which gets us really to the second reason. Think of all the things they're not eating during this period of time.
How about potato chips?
Off the menu.
Chocolate?
Off the menu.
Pretzels?
Not even close.
Popsicles?
None.
Oh. Macaroni and cheese?
No macaroni and cheese, no spaghetti, no bread. Nothing that's highly processed. All of the stuff in the middle of the store that maybe you're avoiding. You're a vegan or even a vegetarian, and you're not eating that either. Be relieved that your loved one is not eating that during this period either.
Yes, for the most part, this is a whole food diet. Your loved one might have a little salami.
Yeah,
or bacon, a little bit of more processed, but it's still considered a lightly processed whole food.
You may be concerned that they're eating a lot of saturated animal fats. And as people who've been doing carnivore for over 2.5 years now, we can say that the saturated fat has not been a problem for us. In fact, it's been one of the solutions for us in our health journeys.
1 and 2 go hand in hand. Don't worry, it's short term right now. So 90 days, not going to kill them. The saturated fat, not going to kill them. And they're going to cut out all those processed foods.
But you may be concerned that during that 90 days, they might have nutrient deficiencies. Like, won't they get scurvy?
Number 1, meat contains a surprising amount of nutrients. We haven't been taught that. Go ahead and do your own research. But meat and fats have pretty much everything we need, including some trace amounts of vitamin C.
Yeah.
And part 2 is that when someone is not eating plants and grains, basically, they don't need as much vitamin C. Their need for vitamin C goes way down. So there are 2 things at play there.
Right. There's long-term carnivores who've had no straight trace of scurvy. Other nutrient deficiencies, like JJ said, if you look at what the nutrient composition of beef is, you will be astonished.
Yeah.
Because I grew up thinking, oh, beef is protein and fat.
Period. Maybe some B vitamins.
Well, right. And if you don't know that protein really breaks down to amino acids, a number of which are absolutely required by human metabolism for life, you may not realize that it's not just protein as a large molecule. Vegans and vegetarians are the ones with the nutrient deficiency, particularly around B12. So that's not a problem. It's full of minerals and vitamins as well. So it's not a concern.
Now, for me, I've noticed that a lot of my systems have functioned better because of the nutrient density of meat. My brain functions better, and I've gotten much more muscle definition.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Since eating a mostly meat diet. So, yeah.
Very likely your mom has under-eaten protein all this time in an effort to control weight, because the old pattern was control calories. Going on carnivore will finally let her replenish what the body has wanted all of this time.
Yeah.
And if your mom's been doing low-fat dieting, the changes to hormones could be pretty dramatic for the better by having sufficient fat. Another concern you might have is there's no fiber. And while there is a small amount of fiber in beef, actually, hyaluronic acid, it turns out that the purpose of fiber is supposedly for aiding digestion and gut health. In my experience, having had IBS, my symptoms got way better the less fiber I had. And there is no nutritional requirement for fiber. You might think that maybe the gut microbiome needs some fiber, but the gut microbiome on carnivore is different than it is when you're eating veggies. So, and it may be advantageous. So it doesn't seem to need that fiber to flourish.
No, it doesn't. Now, your family member might have an initial healing phase, basically, where they do experience some digestion changes.
Yeah.
Sometimes the involuntary cleanse. It's temporary as that microbiome shifts. And like Eric said, you will likely see that their digestion improves. Say you're worried about the microbiome, that it's not going to be diverse enough. The microbiome is very adaptable. So if and when your family member chooses to introduce any plants or other matter into their diets, their microbiome will shift pretty quickly.
Yeah, and the first plant matter they should add back and test are ferments that are filled with beneficial microbes.
Yes.
So your mom might come to you after 2 weeks and you're still concerned and she's like, but I've lost 4 pounds, 5 pounds. And you're going to feel like, Mom, that's water weight. Even if it's water weight, that's inflammatory and it's a good sign that your mom is shedding that. That's an initial sign of the body rebalancing, and it shouldn't be shortchanged. It's significant weight loss.
No.
What about the upcoming barbecue or family get together? What is mom going to eat?
What am I going to make for mom? This comes up for us. Our family members worry a lot, which is so sweet. And I want to reassure you that if you already eat meat, if you're not a vegan or a vegetarian, just make sure there's some meat on hand. Make a little extra because they aren't eating the sides, so they'll need a little extra meat. But burgers and hot dogs and barbecue and chicken wings and all those things are pretty standard fare. Your family member will find what they need. Even sandwiches. We often do sandwich trays and just have the meat.
Yeah, that's right. But if you are going to lovingly make some extra meat, make sure it's just seasoned with salt. And if there's going to be any rubs or sauces, leave them on the side because you don't want to go all that effort. And then your mom says, well, I can't eat it, honey, because you put sugar-covered sauces on it. The other thing is if you are a vegan or vegetarian and ethically you don't want to cook meat, maybe extend mom some grace when she decides she wants to bring her own food.
Yes, that is always an option as well.
It's an extraordinary sign of love and acceptance. And even though she'll know you don't agree with what she's doing, she'll appreciate being given that consideration as she experiments with this diet and sees what it can do for her.
You don't want to guilt trip your mother by association. So what do we mean by that?
Well, say there's a celebrity of some sort who's known to do carnivore frequently, and from your point of view, they're reprehensible because of other things they've said or views they've espoused. And so you're taking their carnivore and you're attaching it to a worldview you dislike and therefore trying to discredit carnivore with it. It's pretty obviously a logical fallacy. We could point to any number of people who eat any number of diets who have worldviews we don't like. And that doesn't invalidate the diet any more than it invalidates wearing socks or sleeping at night. You know, that guy, he sleeps. And therefore, I'm not sleeping.
That's it.
So it is very similar to that.
Yeah.
Now, certain diets do kind of tend to coalesce around different areas of the political spectrum, but that doesn't mean really anything when it comes to your loved one's health and vitality. You have concerns about your mom because you don't want her to get sick or have nutrient deficiencies or develop heart disease, and you have a certain understanding of nutrition that you're looking at. Her choices through. It's really important to understand that the conventional wisdom and the science around nutrition is pretty messy. And a lot of the associations between certain diets and certain diseases are just that. They're associations. And of course, you know that. It's not like news, but we tend to want to put a lot of stock in the associative studies that support our choices.
Yes.
And refute the studies that go against our choices.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of it too. But when it comes to your loved one experimenting with a diet for 90 days, you can really just set that aside because nothing is going to happen in 90 days.
Yeah. Which sort of leads me, you made the point, you went around the point a bit. Do not send your family members a bunch of research about X, Y, or Z, fiber, vitamin C, the nutrient density of vegetables, whatever it might be. Do not send those articles to your loved one.
And it's very likely it's going to be irritating for them, just as them sending you all of this carnivore content. They're going to send you links to Dr. Berry and Dr. Chafee and all these articles trying to convince you that their choice of carnivore is correct. And you don't want to hear it.
Right.
Or maybe you do, in which case this isn't really a problem anyway. But during that early phase especially, there's really no reason to do it because your mom is probably listening to Dr. Berry and Dr. Baker and Dr. Hampton and Dr. Kiltz and Dr. Chafee and all the others on a loop every waking hour during this period of time because it's so reinforcing to the experiment that she's trying. So you're not going to break through with contrarian information, and you're just likely to create more tension.
Unsolicited advice is never a good strategy, and she might just dig her heels in more.
Yeah, and then you'll dig yours in because she'll be sending you articles of her own saying, you need to quit eating vegetables entirely. And you're like, but Mom, broccoli's good for me. And she'll say, no, it's full of oxalates, and you're going to have oxalate crystals pouring out of your eyeballs. Which you probably won't have happen.
Hopefully, you're hoping your mother or your loved one has better health. Ultimately, that is the goal, is you don't want to see them die young, have heart disease, have dementia, any of those things. So celebrate the wins, no matter what. Even if you don't really agree with how the wins got there, celebrate the wins with your mother.
Yeah, if she's feeling more vitality, sleeping better, has lost weight, is suddenly able to do things that she loved, that she wasn't doing before, it's really hard to be mad at the diet when you see that. So as we like to say, every day stronger.
Every day more blessed.